Good morning students and welcome back to civics class. Dear students, we are learning about the Union Parliament and its powers. Okay, we have learned the legislative, judicial, financial powers of the Parliament of India. Please revise and remember. And the last topic, we are learning about the last topic now. Relationship between the two houses of the parliament. Okay, we have learned about the relation between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha regarding ordinary bill. And regarding money bill, what is the role of Rajya Sabha? Or what is the financial power of the Rajya Sabha? We have learned, no, Rajya Sabha has only an advisory role in this matter. If the Lok Sabha send a money bill to the Rajya Sabha can keep the money bill for a term of 2 weeks or 14 days. It means within the stipulated time, the Rajya Sabha has to send back the bill to the Lok Sabha after the discussion. Okay, so please remember that. And now the difference of the relation between the two houses regarding control over the executive. Already we have learned how the parliament can control the executive. We have learned about the importance of question. No? Okay. Members of both the houses can put questions to ministers about the work of their departments. But the Lok Sabha is more powerful than the Rajya Sabha. The Council of Ministers is responsible only to the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha cannot pass a motion expressing no confidence in the Council of Ministers. Adjournment motion indicating a strong disapproval of the policy of government is moved only in the Lok Sabha. Regarding the control over the executive, here also Rajya Sabha has an upper hand. Lok Sabha has an upper hand, not Rajya Sabha. Only the Lok Sabha can discuss and pass a vote of no confidence against the government. In this matter, Lok Sabha. Okay, and what is the role of Rajya Sabha in this matter? No, it cannot discuss or pass such a motion. And now, election of the president and the vice president. Every elected member of the parliament stands on equal footing in the election of the president or the vice president of India. So in the next lesson, we will learn about the election of the President of India. What is the method of this election? And what is the vote value of an MP of the Lok Sabha, member of the Rajya Sabha, and what is the vote value of an MLA? How we can find the vote values of these elected persons, okay, of various legislatures that we will learn. However, the Lok Sabha has a greater say on such matters because of the strength of its members. In this election, we have already learned the present strength of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. 545 is the present strength of the Lok Sabha, and 245 is the strength of the Rajya Sabha. So in this everywhere, Lok Sabha has an upper hand or a more voice, Okay, we have learned about the joint session of the Indian Parliament, joint session. What is the meaning of the joint session and what is the need for this joint session? Who can call the joint session? And who is going to preside the joint session? Please remember, if there is a deadlock or a dispute between the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha regarding a non-money bill, the President of India can call a joint meeting of the Parliament. In this meeting, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha will preside, and in the meeting will discuss and solve the issue. Joint meeting. We have learned in a joint meeting, Lok Sabha has more voice because of the numerical strength of the Lok Sabha is double than the Rajya Sabha. Okay, please remember this. And regarding impeachment, what is the role of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha? In matters of impeachment of the President of India or the Chief Justice or Judge of the Supreme Court or of a High Court, both houses have absolutely equal powers. In this matter, equal powers. Impeachment can be initiated in either house and the other house has an equal say in the judgment. So here both the houses enjoys equal power. Okay, already we have learned what is impeachment. Impeachment is the removal of a person from his office. For example, if the President of India violates the constitution, okay, the parliament can impeach him. And now emergency provision. Regarding emergency, we are going to learn about the emergency in lesson number 2 of civics. Okay, so what is emergency? And the 3 types of emergency are national emergency, constitutional emergency, and the financial emergency are the 3 types of emergency. Who can declare this emergency? Okay, under what condition? All we will learn in next lesson. Okay, regarding emergency, in case of proclamation of a national emergency and if the Lok Sabha is dissolved, it is the Rajya Sabha which shoulders all the responsibilities of the union legislature. We already know. This is one of the advantages of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is a permanent body. President of India cannot dissolve Rajya Sabha like the Lok Sabha. So it is a permanent body. Please remember the term of the Rajya Sabha. No? Rajya Sabha has no fixed term because it is a permanent body. But a member of the Rajya Sabha can complete a term of 6 years. But this is not the term of the Rajya Sabha. No? Okay, Rajya Sabha has no fixed term because it is a permanent body. Okay, so these are the various points you have to remember. Please revise the lesson. Already we have learned about the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, bicameral legislature, unicameral legislature. Term of the Lok Sabha. Term is period of the Lok Sabha. What is the normal term of the Lok Sabha? The normal term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. But please remember, President of India can dissolve the Lok Sabha. No? But when he can dissolve the Lok Sabha? When? Here you are explained the reason, condition for this. And the President of India can extend or increase the term of the Lok Sabha. But when he can extend? Here also you have to remember the reason for the extension of the term of the Lok Sabha. Because it is not a permanent body like the Rajya Sabha. Okay. And now something about the Article 370 and Article 35A. Recently you know that you know. Okay, we know that Jammu and Kashmir was a state. But now it is not a state. It is a union territory, no? Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. We know. So there was an article in our constitution, Article 370 and 35A. Okay. With the end of British rule and India gaining independence on August 15, 1947, Jammu and Kashmir along with other princely states became independent as well. Okay, that you will learn. History lesson, no? Towards the end of partition. Okay, 1945. Okay, so the British introduced the Indian Independence Act. In that act, so they introduced the Indian Independence Act 1947 gave these princely states 3 options. Princely state was a small independent kingdom in the British Empire on those days. Small one. Okay. And they gave 3 options. Which are the 3 options? To remain an independent state or to join the dominion of India or Pakistan. Okay. Join the dominion. The state willing to join the dominion of India had to sign an instrument of accession. A treaty, an agreement there. Okay. Initially the ruler of Jammu and Kashmir, Maharaja Hari Singh. Maharaja Hari Singh was the ruler of the Dogra dynasty. The last one, no? Raja Hari Singh. decided not to join either India or Pakistan, and they chose to remain independent. But following an attack from tribesmen backed by Pakistan's army, Hari Singh sought to help from India and decided to accept join India. He signed the Instrument of Accession, and Governor General Lord Mountbatten accepted it on October 27, 1947. Under this Instrument of Accession Treaty, Jammu and Kashmir surrendered only three subjects: defense, external affairs, and communications to the Indian state. This was accepted by the government of India. Then, subject to future final settlement, the matter was placed before the Constituent Assembly of India, which was dealing with the task of framing the Constitution of India. We have learned in class 11, framing of the Constitution. After a lot of deliberation, Article 370 was inserted in the Constitution's 21st part, and that proclaimed it to be temporary, transitional, and a special provision. So there was an understanding between Raja Hari Singh. He was ruler of the Jammu and Kashmir from Dogra dynasty, Rajput dynasty. So, and he decided to join India because of the attack, but he demanded some special provisions for his area. Then included in the Indian Constitution on October 17, 1949, Article 370 accorded special status to Jammu and Kashmir, giving Jammu and Kashmir legislature free rein to draft its own constitution and laws, except in the areas of communications, defense, and foreign affairs. As a result, Jammu and Kashmir had its own constitution, flag, and penal code. So, penal code, you will learn about the RPC, Ranbir Penal Code. You will explain that. Article 35A was introduced through a presidential order in 1954 on the recommendation of Jammu and Kashmir Constituent Assembly. This article empowered the legislature of Jammu and Kashmir to define who were the state's permanent residents along with their special rights and privileges. For instance, no one except those defined as permanent residents of Jammu and Kashmir were entitled to property rights in the state, employment in state government, or to scholarships and other social benefits provided by the state. Article 370 and 35A gave some special privileges and rights to Jammu and Kashmir. So what was the reason for the inclusion of this article in our constitution? 370, Raja Hari Singh. But recently there was a abolition of this article 370 and 35A, abrogation of article 370 and 35A. The central government took an important political and constitutional step on August 5th, 2019 by abrogating Article 370 and bifurcating Jammu and Kashmir into two separate union territories, Jammu and Kashmir with a legislative assembly and Ladakh without legislative assembly. Article 35A, which originated from the provisions of Article 370, stands null and void, inoperative. Abrogation of Article 370 means repeal or abolish of Article 370 and 35A. So listen, this is recently it happened, no? That is why the textbook included this in our textbook. Abrogation means repeal or abolition. Now it is not there in this, which one? Article 370 is not there in the constitution. Article 370 and also 35A are not in the constitution. Okay, so I will explain again in another video. So please revise and learn. Thank you.